It has been exactly 1 year since the official development of Hero began. Hello everybody, I'm Indie Dev Dylan and welcome to the 7th devlog on Hero. Today is July 11th. I hope everyone has been doing great. Let's get into the devlog. In the last devlog, I was discussing how I would be taking a break from game development. One of you left a comment on the video, and I want to address that comment here. Hero is one of my many dream game projects that I want to make in my life. I want to build an audience and a fan base for my games, as well as my characters, so that anyone who is interested in these games can play them and build a meaningful experience with them. I want to become a full-time game designer in the future. The success of this game will not determine that, but rather the game being a project I work on will help me get closer to that goal. This project has taught me a lot that I can use in the future for bigger and better projects. That was the #1 goal of making this game. This channel is my way of building a community before the release of my games and also for getting feedback. During my break from the development, I decided to restart the project and change how I will be designing the game going forward. But I'll get into that later. When I made the art for the game, I basically reskinned the original Mega Man sprite. Now I will be using this new sprite I designed myself. This new sprite changes some details while keeping Hero about the same size. The original concept art made for Hero back in 2014 was something I really wanted to replicate in this new sprite. You can see he has a bag and also a hat. I also believe that the silhouette is a lot better and more unique than the original. Many people who are just getting into game development will often encounter issues with their game that could have been avoided by either better planning or future-proofing. The problem is that encountering these issues could mean making a lot of changes, so sometimes it's best to restart, whilst retaining the knowledge and the code from the faulty project. When I restarted, I wanted to make every mechanic as smooth as I can. Taking your time is important. The movement originally was fine, but it didn't feel perfect, so I wanted to fix that. Now the player will slide a little before coming to a complete stop. This was something that I originally didn't implement, but it is something that I really like for not only realism, but also to better reflect some other platformers. The movement speed is also increased, and if the player is running for long enough, they will get an extra boost and run even faster. Another change I made had the goal of simplifying the movement. Hero will now be able to jump and go up slopes, but not while crawling. Looking at my code, you can also see how I am cleaning it up so that it can be easier to read. This is important to make sure you can understand your code after taking a long break. It can also be nicer to look at and not so overwhelming. So far, this is it. The progress in this scene here. I'm trying to be methodical about how I build this project. I didn't want to add a bunch of tiles that I don't need yet. I'm getting ready to implement the improved swimming that I will have done for the next devlog, and the new weapon system that will have different ammo types for the slingshot, and will have auto aim to make the game easier and more enjoyable. Before doing so, I wanted to add one of my enemies to make sure it all works properly. I decided to add the bunny since it has the most dynamic movement, but this sprite isn't gonna cut it. So let's jump into A sprite. After working on a better design for a few hours, this is what I came up with. And here's a comparison to the concept art for the bunny from 2014. I think increasing the size will make it more intimidating, harder to avoid, and easier to hit. I don't think it's perfect yet, but I do want to keep it around the same size. So let me know if there's something in particular that I should adjust before adding it into the game. After I get to the state I was before my break, I will begin the development on the final product. I will be going level by level until I run into an issue or a new feature I need to implement, and change the game accordingly. I'm going to be redoing the art in an attempt to perfect the look of the game. Hopefully the new weapon system isn't too complicated and goes smoothly so I can begin working on this stage of the project. I'm doing this to avoid feature creep and make sure the game is done by the deadline I set for myself. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for 50 subscribers. I really like the support, it means a lot to me, and I hope you are excited for future updates on the game. Let me know what you think about the things we've talked about in this video, and if there's any other ideas you might have for the game, please let me know in the comments down below. I've been Indie Dev Dylan, thank you for watching, bye.